Good morning. Testimonials all together on one page or spread out on separate pages to maximize SEO. Hello, I'm David Grubb with Shepherd's Loft Web Design Agency. Today, I'm going to explain to you the benefits, advantages, and disadvantages of your testimonials and where to put those on your website. And then then we're going to actually work through some examples for Modern Rustic Homes, a local home builder. And so stay tuned with us to watch and see how I determine which testimonials go where. So first, let's discuss a little bit about what the differences here are and what the benefits can be. I mean, traditionally speaking, since 20-25 years when we first started building websites, it was all about home, services, contact, and then maybe you had a testimonial page or a history page or something like that, like an about us page. And so everything kind of got lumped on single pages, and that was because what you're looking at on your screen, 15, 20 years ago, people didn't scroll down. So whatever they saw immediately on their screen is what they assumed was the entire contents of the page. So building out the menu, home, about, services, contact, testimonials, then then you were able to just click across the menus and you just read the top part of the information, and that's all there was. And you just click to go to the next page. And 75% of the people 15, 20 years ago, that's how they interacted with websites. But that is no longer true. Now it's the opposite. Now, 75% of the people that come to a website will scroll down and look through content. Yes, the top part of the web page that you're looking at right now above the fold, and you can go watch my video on about the above the fold. But this is the most important part of the page. But now we are considering the benefits of distributing those. I think we've even talked about the FAQs and spreading those out. So as we are building, because people are interacting and scrolling down the page, we can put more information on a page. And also because Google is looking for quality pages that have a minimum amount of content, maybe 400 words, right? Now we know, so that means two things. One is users are willing to scroll. We can put more information there. Two, Google is requiring us to have more content on the page. And there's also a performance issue where we're looking at we need more, we need a ratio of readable content versus code, right? So there's several reasons that we have longer pages. And with longer pages comes more SEO. So this is a great opportunity to look at our testimonials and move those to other pages instead of lumping them all together. So there definitely are benefits for putting the testimonials throughout the website because you're adding more words to those pages. And also the users, when they're looking at that page, whether it's the home page, the service page, or project, when they're looking at that page, they can read the testimonial that's related to that subject. And that's where the SEO comes in. The search engines are looking at the page as a whole, and it's like, okay, what is the topic? What is the keyword phrase of this page, and does it all coincide together? The testimonials can have keywords in them, which is another good reason to put those testimonials on the page that they belong. So if there's a specific keyword in a testimonial, we want to put that on the page related to that keyword phrase, whether it's a service or a particular project. So those are the benefits of spreading the testimonials out throughout the website, so that we have better interaction from the users. We have more SEO for the search engines, and we have more words on the page that for the rankings for the search engines, and those are the three main things. Okay, so now that we kind of understand why we should be spreading out our testimonials instead of lumping them all together today, I'm going to walk you through some examples on how we're going to distribute um, these these testimonials throughout the website. And in addition to that, we are also planning to rebuild some of these pages. So we want to grab these and put them back into our Google Drive to organize for later. Okay. So let's get started. I got to get logged into the website, and then we're going to get started moving these around. So our example today is modern rustic homes, and we have a testimonial page. It's called, what do clients say? Okay. And we have buttons to go back to leave a review on Facebook and Google. So those buttons are there, which is kind of nice. So it's convenient if somebody's going to come and leave a review. But oftentimes you can do that with an email and just send them a link and ask them nicely, and kind of get a feel for where they are. Are they happy with your services? And then make the request. So leaving a button on the page is not directly beneficial. So these are the testimonials on here, and I've already made notes. I sat down with Michael and made some notes on which testimonials go with what projects and where else those testimonials would be good to place. So this first one here uh, would be is a part of a project, which was the Big Canoe. So we're going to copy this and put it over on the Big Canoe. First, I'm going to make another folder over here, and I'm going to put each one of these in a file so that I can keep track and know where they go. So here's my folder. I'm going to come in, new document. So I could have draft. Okay, so now I got to remember. See, I accidentally did it. I got to paste without formatting, and I want to get the name too. So I'm going to come back and I'm going to copy all of that and come back in here and then right click, paste without formatting. And this particular testimonial is for the Big Canoe project. So I'm going to label that, and then I'm going to add an additional note here that this is a testimonial just in case this document gets separated from the herd, and I will still know what it is. So that's all I need to do right there is put that in. And then so this page, it's going to go on the Big Canoe. So I'm going to go navigate to that page and go put the testimonial in while we're working on it. So I think we want to go to the gallery. So this would be the project gallery. Open up a new tab here, close that one out. And then, so this is the page that has all of them listed. So I want to find Big Canoe. So it'll take us a minute to kind of get organized and get our tabs open, get things rolling. So here's the project. And so for today's purposes, I'm going to redesign. I showed you guys the new design for the portfolio projects that we did a week before or a couple weeks ago. And we're going to build that out, and then we're going to rebuild all these pages. So for today, I'm just trying to get the content on the page and get them organized in the articles so that everything is organized and ready to go when we start to rebuild all of these portfolio projects. And then it's going to be a really cool process, and it's going to be a really great result because we're going to get all of this stuff organized together, and then we're actually going to build out all these and rebuild all these pages with the additional information, and it's going to give it a lot of search engine rankings, and it's really going to help the users understand the full story behind each one of these projects. So I'm going to go ahead and enable the visual builder on this one. So again, today we're just trying to just get these divided up and put them where they belong and document them, and then we're going to come back and rebuild. So typically in the process, your social proof would go, somewhere around 2/3 down the page, not always at the top. So I'm just going to add a little module here. I got to wait for it to reload. All right. All right, so there's the gallery. Here's my last part of my text. And then I'm going to add a testimonial module here. I'm just going to use the default Divi layout. Okay. We will delete the Greek text, paste without formatting, and the name is right here at the bottom, so I can just grab that, delete the empty space. This is only 2 sentences, so I'm just going to leave it whole. And here's the author. Now, I don't have, one of the things I don't have is we do have pictures of the house of the project. So we have a couple options. Either A, we could put the logo in here, or B, we could put a miniature picture of the house. So we might experiment with that and see which one we like best. Okay. But for today's exercise, it might be just faster that we find the logo and we make that consistent and just put those in there. Okay, so there's an updated logo here somewhere. Let's see. I can't see it, but I think this is the one. So let's try and see if this is it. Nope, that's not it. There's one here. I just can't tell if it's the most recent one. Yes, that does look like the most recent one. Okay, it's transparent, so that's not going to work for us. I will need a different version of the logo to be able to do that because it's reversed out. Okay, so the big canoe. So we know the project is Big Canoe, so we're just going to look for the home. It would help if I could spell it correctly. There we go. There's a Big Canoe logo. There's a house there. So I don't like either one of those. So let's come back and look at the gallery page, which I thought I left that open. Maybe I didn't. Okay. Okay, so here's the Big Canoe. It's got this kind of orange looking front center there. So let's just see if we can identify that photo right quick. This is where naming your files really helps. So apparently I did not have that one named very well, or it would be easier to search and find. There is a little cheat we can do. We can right click and inspect. See if we can see the name of the image. It says it has canoe on it, canoe front. So it does have the word canoe, just didn't have the word big in it. Canoe. All right, so let's look quick using the inspector there. And this could be it here. That's it right there. That's the one we're using in the thing. Okay, so that's a very big version of it. Let's see if we just have a little thumbnail and see if that'll work out for us. Yeah, that is perfect. Look at that. All right, so we saved that. Now we got this nice little testimonial in here. I'm really not doing any other formatting and just adding the image and the quote, and this was done. So we can check that one off. We'll save and exit and move on to the next one. Okay, so that's our original page there. I'm going to close out this doc and get the next one ready. New doc. All right. And then we're going to exit that visual builder. I'm going to jump back and forth just so I can keep moving. Okay, so we've got this one done. The next one. So I guess we'll just, I'm going to go back and forth. This one on the right, so we'll just kind of go left to right and then down. Copy. This one is for the Johns Creek. So here's our document here. Command Shift V, paste without formatting. And this is going to be Johns Creek. All right. And then, so that's saved. This is exited. We'll close that. So you'll notice that I'm only opening one page with the Divi editor at a time. That's because it uses a lot of resources, both on the server and locally here on my computer. So I'm just going to tackle them one at a time. Okay, enable Visual Builder. Okay, so while we're looking at that, we'll go ahead and inspect and see if we can see what the name of this photo. It does have John Creek on it, so it is labeled correctly. Should be easy to find when we add that block. Again, we're using the default Divi testimonial block, Command Shift V. Let's see if that works. We can always hit the text box over here. That looks perfect. No extra characters or code. But we'll cut that and then put it into the author slot. And then we are just looking for the image. Click the gear, Johns Creek. Okay, so let's see which one has a really good center. This is the one we had on the front page. Is this Johns Creek as well? It does. And it looks like it might have a little better center of the photo there. Yeah, that looks nice. Okay, excellent. That's it. Save. I know it seems like an extra step. It asks me to save, but I like clicking save before I click exit. All right. Okay. We'll exit out of that one. We'll close that one, start another one. We can bring this over a little bit. New document. There's quite a lot of these to do. So if you're following along, you can make some notes. I'm just going to be repeating the process. This one right here, this testimonial here is from Todd. So this is going to go on the Scenic Heaven. Okay, so close that one out. 5 Scenic. Here it is. All right, so I think I copied it to my clipboard. Then Command Shift V. This should be loaded. So this has got the magazine feature already on it. Oh, look, this one's got a different quote on it. Is that the same quote? That's a different quote. We will revisit that later. So I'm just going to add the other one here. Actually, let's drag and drop. Oh, those sections are not live. Put that one in there, and then I'll add it. Just add it to this other. So now this kind of brings up a good point here. You could have testimonials or recommendations that come from other sources, like your vendors or even other people and their reactions to your project. And so that's just those are all good. I mean, testimonials don't have to strictly come from that person. It could be other people's view of that project. All right. And let's see, it's the image, and this is Scenic Kevin. So let's just try one of the words. We'll just try searching for heaven and see what comes up. Right. It's taking a long time to search. There it goes. All right, nothing found there. Let's look for scenic. There we go. We got something this time. I'm pretty sure this is the right one. Yes, it is. I like this night one though. It's really nice. A little brighter. And this one might have a better center, so let's check that one. Let's see. So always remember to look at your image size. I'm picking the thumbnail, which is really too big in itself. So I should come back and make little thumbnails that are like 100 by 100, and because that will affect the speed of the page to download. But we are going to rebuild the page anyway, so I'm not too concerned about that right now. But I am going to pick the smallest one instead of the one that's like 5 megs. All right. So there's that one. Save. So that's maybe that's only 20 to 30 words, but that's another 20, 30 words added to the page. It has modern rustic homes in the quote. So we're adding modern rustic, we're adding those keyword phrases to the page. So that's kind of the whole point of this exercise. All right, so this next one, and so we're talking about those keywords. This has building your custom home. So custom home is definitely a good keyword phrase. So this is a really good quote to pull over and put on the other page. We're going to put this one on the Buckhead Cottage project. So let's find Buckhead. There's Bucktown Cottage. Okay, yeah, that's probably the right one. We'll open up a separate page. Of course, I'll double check everything with Michael, the customer, just to make sure. So, but I'm going to label this one the way it is on the website. Bucktown Cottage. Oops. Okay, and then we're going to edit, click the edit on this page. Also, so we're adding these testimonials. I mentioned the three things, that the reasons why it's important to do this, and the point of all of those, all of those reasons add up to the fact that every page on your website really should be a landing page. So if you're adding these components, right? If you're adding the social proof and the description and the magazine article that it was published in, so you're adding the different components to the individual pages, you're increasing that customer journey, and you're adding those pieces together to help make each page its own landing page. And that's what's important. So every page should feel like, okay, everything that I need here as a consumer is here. All the information that's related to this is here. And I don't have to go searching for it. I don't have to go to the FAQ question page to find out what kind of questions were asked. I don't have to go to the testimonial page to figure out what the customer had to say about the project, or what the vendors had to say about the products, or how the products were used for that project. So there's a lot of reasons there, to make each page a landing page and make each page important, not just putting little bits of information on each individual page, or just collecting stuff together. Now, sometimes when you have projects and they are done in a geographical area, it makes sense to build an additional page, like a city page that collects all the projects or services or things that you've done in that area, because maybe those services are different, or maybe the projects had a different style. So then you're able to group that way. Um, but it's still an entry point to the site. Okay, I'm gonna cancel and reload this. Seems to be quicker. There it goes. Just gotta double click it. Okay, so I think this was the house right here, and I'm gonna make sure I pick the smallest one for the image, and there it is. It's not really visible, but there is something visible and recognizable about it, which is kind of cool. So instead of not, instead of it being nothing, instead of nothing being there, there's something to identify it with, which is good. All right, we can save and exit that one. All right. And then, so we're kind of just zigzagging down the page. The next one here. So let's grab this one over here before we get too far down. This is the Ponderosa. Right, so we're going to make our Google Doc. Well, these are nice little short testimonials, which are a little short on words for SEO, but they are better for the humans. So you do want to kind of find that balance between 2 or 3 sentences. Now we do have some that are a lot longer, so we're going to put them on there as is, but later on we might treat them differently. Okay, so this one is done. We'll close that out. Now we're looking for the Ponderosa, which is down here. It's got a very nice exterior photo. So let's, okay, enable this page. All right, image. There it is right there. All right, let's save this one. And exit out. Doesn't look like I spelled that right. Bonder. Oh, I missed my O. Der. It's one R. Okay. All right, we fixed that. All right, so the next one should be this one here. Let's see. Yes. This just has the phrase modern rustic homes in it, right there in the middle. So it at least mentions the company. Actually mentions it twice. Company. This is the bailiwick. So most of these testimonials are for these projects, but we do have some that are going to go on some of the other pages. We just didn't. Actually, we got one of those. No, I'll take that back. We got some. They're in here somewhere, so we will get to them in a little bit. All right, bailiwick. Do we already have a testimonial? There's a little something here. Oh, it looks like it was hidden. And is that the same house there? I'm not sure that it is. Yes. There's this little onset. Oh, it's on both sides. You just can't see it in the photo. Okay. So this section is already here. So I'm just going to enable this one. So click the triple dots and then just click the different views. Fonts are definitely different. So for whatever reason, it didn't paste the way I wanted it. Oh. So let's try that again. Copy, paste, cut. I think this is from a different angle, which is kind of nice. We're going to remove this and let this go full width. Now this one's a little bit longer, so there needs to be some breaks in here. So we can at least break it into 2 paragraphs, and that'll be a little bit more readable. All right, so that's good. Save that one. Save, exit. All right, so the next one on our list. It's a really big one there. Okay, so I love this team, which is, so we're skipping this one here. I don't have a note for that one. So we're going to go for this big one down here. Now, so this is from a company that helped with the project and had some comments. Now this is going to go on the big canoe as well. So since we already started a document, we're just going to add to that one. Okay. So some of these are only a couple sentences long, maybe 20 to 30 words. Some of them are longer, but overall, I mean, there's, looking back at this page, so all these words are here together on one single page, but the keywords don't match. So this is a really big disadvantage to just lumping all the testimonials onto one page, is because your keyword phrases are going to be kind of all over the map, especially if you provide different services or different kind of products. Then they're not going to be matched. Again, you would want to put them on the page where they belong, and also on the pages where maybe the keyword was referenced in the testimonial. So you want to put that on your web page that's going to match, where the keywords are going to match. So this is a second testimonial for this page. We could duplicate this one so we don't have to find the image again. There it goes. And then we can edit this one. Whoops, I missed click the duplicate button again instead of the gear. Okay, here we go. I select all, Command A, and then Command V to paste. I'm going to cut the company out. I'll put that in the author. Now, again, this is a rather large one, so we do need 2 or 3 paragraphs here. And I think when it comes to making the paragraphs, you just want to avoid, where the sentences are starting with the same words. So if they all started with D, that would be kind of weird. And, the SEO flags they would flag you for that. Okay, so that was easy. And we added it to the other document, save and close. Okay, it did ask me. I clicked it too fast. That's fine. Alrighty. So on this page, let's see. We've done the first page of the testimonials, and so we're working on, we got 2 more, 2.5 more pages of these to do to get organized. This looks like another big canoe in here, so let's see if I can find that one. Mary J. Yeah, right here. It's right below it. Okay, so copy. Oh, we're still open. So this is the big canoe page. That's correct. All right, so we've got another one that goes here. I'll duplicate that, and then I'll come down and edit the bottom one. Give them a little paragraph break. Nice. Save. Okay, so going back to our testimonial page, this one right here on the other column, we can see they used a keyword phrase in here, custom build here at the bottom. So that will help in expanding the keywords on the site. Okay, so this is already exited. Command W to close. Okay, so let's find, this is going on falling waters, just right here. I'm using the command, I'm holding the command key when I click so that it opens up in a new tab. Just makes it easier. Okay, so I'll enable Visual Builder on that one. Open up my Google Doc. All right, it's done. Scroll. So this was in. So we have the credibility here with the magazine cover. It would be nice if this was 2 columns. So we'll have to add a row to do that. Let's see where to go. Something weird just happened, so I'm going to hit the undo button. There we go. We're safe. If I go over to the text tab and paste, I know for sure that I'm not putting any code in. All right, and the image. So let's see here. Falling Waters. That one right there. Well, that's a lot of roofs, so let's pick this one. I guess it might be cool if they matched, but I think this one is probably going to look better as an icon. So we'll save that. And then I'm going to drag and drop this little magazine thing into the right column. And then it's a little big. So I think what I want to do is just switch this to a 2/3, 1/3. If this was broke into 2 columns, it might stretch it out a little bit. Okay. This is kind of tight on the lapping, but that's a layout issue, which I'm not focused on right now. I'm just trying to get these on the right pages. So what you can see now, as we do these, we have descriptions and gallery photos. There's a button to download the floor plan to take a closer look at that. There's credibility with the magazine. There's social proof with the testimonial. So you can see how these different components start to really add up together to make a complete landing page to really help the customer experience that project. All right, so we did that one. Okay, so the next one is going to go on the team page. So it's not going to go on a project. And so let's go over. I'm not even sure we have. Yes, we do. Here's the team page. All right. And we'll enable the editor on that one. And so this is from, should be the next one down right here. Copy. I think that's one of the misconceptions of about pages and team pages. Yes, they typically do have content about the people that work there and their experience, but they also can include people's comments about the staff and you know them working together. So it looks like this is a 2 column, so I'm going to make another row to add a single column. But altogether, the about page and team page really should be about how they serve their customers. So this is one way that the testimonial can assist with telling that story. All right. So this is where I really do wish I had the Modern Rustic logo reversed out to put in the icon here. But since I don't have that, I may need to try to do something different here. Or maybe just hide that image there's elements here. That's the quote icon at the top. I can just get the trash can there. It'll automatically slide over. This is not really ideal. There's some space over here. Which that would be a lot of information to try to put in that left column. If I drop it in there, it's just kind of a call out box. I don't like the way it stretches all the way across the page. To me, it's quite a lot. So just for now, I'm going to just add some spacing to the right and left side. Just to close it in a little bit, and then double check the mobile view. Sometimes when you adjust that, you can see that it's super skinny. So you got to know, you got to watch out for that. So on the mobile view, we don't want that padding on the right and left of the module. I think this is the text area, alignment, body text. Here we go. Body text. Oh, I'm looking for spacing is what I'm looking for. Here we go, spacing. All right, so you can see I added about 100 to each side. It's 107. I can make that 100. And then up here, there's a little mobile icon. I can click that, and then I can set the mobile to just 9. And that's going to tighten it up. It still has a little bit of a border on it, but not much. And now it's readable on the mobile. Save. A little extra step on that one, just making it a little more readable on the desktop, and then readjusting for the mobile. Okay, looking through my list here. The next one is on the team page as well. Quote from June, so right here. One other possibility is you could do both. We discussed doing one or the other. I think if you have enough testimonials, yeah, sure, you could have a whole page of just the testimonials. Uh, However, you might consider like what the common phrases are, or maybe add them all to maybe the contact page, because the contact page doesn't have a lot. And then maybe just pare down the number of testimonials to the ones that have the company name in it. One of the strategies that I like to follow is, if we have a contact page, I like to make sure that that page is optimized for the business name. So when people are Googling it, they're most likely to find the contact page, click and go there, and if they know that they're looking for you, I'm looking for Modern Rustic Homes, and that's in the search engines, and you click it and you're on the contact page, then you're just filling out the phone form, or you're dialing the phone number. So the testimonials could really help in that way if they're kind of grouped together on that page. All right, so we're going to duplicate this one here because we've already gone through the efforts of adjusting the desktop and mobile view. And then we'll come in and click the little gear so that we can edit. Go to the text, select all, paste, cut out the name, put that in the author. This one's already paragraphed, so it looks pretty well. Let's see. Good. All right. Looks like there's an extra line there, which I don't see in my editor. So save. There's 2 there. All right, that one gets that done. Just looking ahead, there is another team. Oh, that's the one we just did. Okay. looking at the last page to see if there's any more. Okay, yeah, there is another team. There's 2 more team. So hopefully we don't lose our place too much. But let's go ahead and grab the other team reviews. So Wendy Reed. So there's another one here. So let's duplicate this one. So you can see we're going to have to redesign this page to really make it more interactive. Sometimes you just got to take little steps, got to get things organized, keep it moving. I consider the best approach to websites is to always take an iterative approach, get something started that looks good, and then expand. And then if you expand too much and the design starts to fall apart, then redesign. Just use the content you have and redesign, rebuild, and then continue on with expanding and modifying. So it's always a iterative process, a recurring process, if you will, to always continually adjust and improve the website because everybody else is. And if you're not, then if you in the top, it takes that approach to get to the top of the search engines and to get rankings. And if you don't maintain that, then you could lose your status. So it is a little bit of a game. But when you're creating content, that's information that's money that you've spent one time forever, as opposed to ads, which if you're starting out, you need ads to get the immediate traffic, but long term, you need that recurring revenue. So then it costs less in the end. Solomon. Okay, so this is going to go on list, so we'll just put it there. All right, so we jumped out a little bit, but I think that's all the ones we're going to put on the team page for now. So I'm going to exit this out, save and exit. And so the next one we're looking for is Crazy Fox, which is by Hadel. Fine. Down, which is right here. Now I didn't make a Google Doc for those team page testimonials. So, but that would go, I could do that, but I'm going to move on to doing this one. It's okay. Did not copy that to the clipboard. Copy, paste. Okay, so Crazy Fox. Let's see, there's a video that we're going to have to fix, but I can hide it for now. So let's make that adjustment. Disable, and then just click the little icons and then click the triple dot again to make it kind of go away. Okay, so let's come right here underneath the gallery and add our testimonial. Whoops, I typed text, not testimonial. All right, this is the Crazy Fox. The gallery page, we're using this interior shot. So there's a night photo. Ah, this one looks great. That one's definitely kind of stands out. It's really nice. All right. Okay, so look at my cheat sheet here. Team, Crazy Fox, Falling Waters, Big Canoe, team page. So we did all of those. And then there's one here that I'm not sure where that one goes. Team page we did. Lake Bluff Lodge. Okay, so there's definitely one more here we can do for Solomon. Ooh, I gotta delete this extra box down here. Almost missed it. Save. There's Lake Bluff Lodge. Okay, I'm looking for the one by Solomon. All right, so got that one. I'm gonna exit out of that one. Close that. So we're looking for Lake Bluff. Enable. All right, we're almost done. This is our last one on the set. And while I'm doing this last one, let me tell you, guys, let you know that I mentioned that we're building. We did the design for the portfolio projects a couple of weeks ago, and we're going to be building that out soon, hopefully this week, within the next few days. And then after that, so coming soon, I'm going to put that portfolio project layout, the layout of the portfolio projects. I'm going to put that back into uh, our home builder layouts. So there's 5 layouts in the set. And so if you're using Divi, you can go buy all the layouts that I use for the home builders. You can buy the whole set of layouts and then you can import those and start modifying them. So we're going to add this portfolio project layout to that home builder Divi layout set. And you can buy those. I'll go ahead and leave the price I've got it set around 25 bucks. But I'm going to add, you can buy it now, but I'm going to be adding that new layout to that set in the future. You should be able to come back and download that after I get it. I'm just going to replace the download. So you should be able to come back and download that later as well. If you don't, then you can always leave me a comment and request that. So I just want to let you guys know that these home builder layouts are going to be available to purchase online through shepherdsloft.com. And then after that, we are also going to be making some different themed home builder layouts. So this is the first one is just a generic home builder layout. but we will be focusing on the future on making some other styles. We're thinking about doing luxury home builder style, and also a custom home builder style, and maybe even a log home builder, style layouts, so that they're a little bit more styled and ready to go. And then all you need to do is swap out the images and content. All right, so this is the Lake Bluff, which is this one here. It's a little dark, might be hard to recognize in the icon. So I'm just trying to look for something that might be a little bit brighter. Um, I see this little thing in this great. I think this is the great one. No, that's the office. That's the master bedroom, kitchen. This is the living room with all the windows. Let's see how this one looks. You just see windows, so it's not that. And the chimneys. The chimney's in a good place in the photo, but it doesn't make for a great icon. So we may have to let's try this one here. Just kind of a side shot. It looks like it should be centered pretty well. Yeah, I think you can still recognize that as the great house on the bluff. Okay, there we go. We got that image set, got that testimonial done. We can save that one and exit. All right. Well, that was pretty extensive. We got through our list. There were some testimonials that we did not move, and there's some that we could use in multiple places. And then we also probably need to add, like I mentioned, add some to the contact page. But we got a bulk of them done, and we also have them documented in our project folder. So things are organized and ready to go. And that's it for today. Thank you for watching. Be sure to like and subscribe if you want to get notifications about our next step in our portfolio project build out for. And we're using home builders as an example because it's one of the best ones to do. So like and subscribe so you can get those notifications. And hopefully this week we will be building that portfolio project layout, and as we kind of wrap up some of this content. So thank you for watching.